What's up, y'all? Get ready to break it down and level up. Welcome to Doing Numbers, the number one financial literacy podcast in the world. Clap it up, clap it up. I'm your host, Olu, and I have my man Scott with me. So bring your pen and pad because it's about to get real. Scott, what's up, my man?
Another day in paradise, Jack.
How you feeling today?
Man, I wake up every day as me. Don't get better than that.
Man, I love that. Yes, sir. It's tough, you know. A lot of people
can't
be them.
That's very true. It's very true.
So to hear you say, you know, I wake up being me, man, that feels good to hear.
It does. I mean, you could complain about it, but it wouldn't do you no good. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
A lot of people can't wake up and be in their own skin because they think circumstance dictates who they are. You know what I'm saying?
And honestly, it's funny you brought that up because there was a lot of moments in my life where I had some circumstances that I just sat in and was like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. I'm not going to do anything to move away from it.
Absolutely.
I just feel like, this was the hand I was dealt, and I just got to make the best of it.
Right. Well, that's a major key because you do have to make the best of it. You got to see what that best looks like.
And that's, what the best looks like. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about what we got going on today, man, because we got a killer guest, man. It's my guy. It's my guy, man. So I'll be introducing that to you guys very soon of who we got. So just sit tight. But I want to give you guys a little bit about Doing Numbers. Again, those who have been following Doing Numbers, we've been rocking since 2021, but we back again this time around. A lot more professional, man. A lot more information, a lot more knowledge and experience that we can bring to the table to help each and every one of our good people out here, man, level up, break it down and level up. I want to also mention the fact that this podcast is, we talk about financial literacy and that's what the bulk of this podcast is going to be about. But I definitely want to make this an open space for everybody, the novice that are into investing and want to get in all the way up to the experts. Because at the end of the day, if you're a student of the game, it's never an end of learning. You continuously learn no matter where you are in life. So I want to make sure that when you tapping in with us, you getting real, honestly, authentic information about not just our journey, speaking of me, and I would assume you as well, Scott, but the journey of our people that we bring on, where we are as of the current situation in our life, and as we continue to go on in our real estate or investing journey.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, brother. I think a lot of people miss the point that the journey is the most important part. When you make it to your destination, you don't appreciate a lot of things that you've accomplished because you didn't take time to appreciate the journey along the way. And that's what this podcast is about. It's about taking our audience from point A to point Z at each step, getting expertise from amazing guests that we have now, and just streamlining that process so that the audience can feel comfortable being vulnerable and not knowing exactly what steps to take or what questions to ask or what experiences to curtail out of that process or what mistakes not to make.
No, facts.
Yeah.
And honestly, man, who gives a fuck?
Who cares?
You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? Bro, if you wrong and
be strong and wrong.
Be strong and wrong.
Be strong and wrong.
Because there's somebody out there that's gonna help pick you up if you put yourself in that right situation.
I'll do it. I'll pick you up.
Like I remember a time where literally
I picked you up.
I mean
bad.
You picked me up before, man. I ain't gonna lie. You picked me up before.
Couple times.
And you're gonna continue to pick me up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not perfect. I'm a human, man. I'm gonna make mistakes. So that's why I appreciate you as being my brother, man, because I can count on you to pick me up.
Very true. You got to be able to structure a team to where you can hold people accountable for your shortcomings.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be equally yoked.
And if anybody know me, man, I don't really like to talk too much about my shortcomings. I really don't, care to get any. At one point, I didn't care to get any input on my shortcomings. How about that?
Well, that's a major key in structuring your team, right? Like you got to be able to have a relationship with people who can see your shortcomings before you make them. Yeah, be there to pick you up before you fall.
Yeah, I give the fact of me being a Taurus as I'm gonna use that as my scapegoat.
Don't use the zodiac don't use the zodiac that was here before you was to blame for your shortcomings, bro.
You know, I'm reading through the horoscopes and I see all the little different intangibles that, you know, come along with being a Taurus. And I'm like, yeah, I can use that as a crutch. I can use that as a crutch. That too.
See, I'm a Pisces by nature, man. So, like being there and being a support system is part of empathy, right? Like it's being able to step in front of the problem before the problem exists and giving people what it is that they don't know that they need.
And that's why you my dog, because
I provide a service.
You do, and you provide a different outlook, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you really do. Like, hearing you say that, that wasn't something that was on my mind. But that's the beauty of when you meet people and you really build that connection and you build a bond with them, because they can teach you things that you've never been taught before. And it's on that one level of like, yo, I can really see eye to eye with you right now. Like, I can relate with you. Granted, you had a different walk of life, but there's some relatability there where I want to stick close to you and learn from.
I agree. And I think when you spoke on being a Taurus, I think acknowledging who or what you are empowers you more than it does bring detriment to your experience. You know what I'm saying? Like with you being a Taurus, you're great at delegating, but you might not be great with empathy.
Facts.
That's the balance I was talking about.
Facts.
Like it's important to bring what you have to the table and let everything else lie. Be good at what you're good at. You can build those strengths along the way with the people that you bring with you.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because again, man, I was dealing with that. And I know, you know, there's a ton of other people out there that deal with it as well, but how do you address it? You know?
Well, I think it's important that we open the floor to our guests to answer questions like that. Because that's why they're here. You know what I'm saying? To fill in the gaps of where we can't answer those questions.
There you go.
So let me take this time to introduce our amazing guest, Simmons. He's a serial entrepreneur. Most recently, he's a mogul in real estate, and he is a phenomenal human outside of being an entrepreneur. He offers authenticity. He offers conjecture. He offers the real life experiences that a lot of people just gas and can't deliver the deliverables. You know what I'm saying? So let me toss it over to my man's Simmons. Thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you, Ani.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me,
here,
brothers.
man.
I really appreciate it, man. I love the energy and the vibe you guys have created, and all of the information that you seem like you guys are sharing. Sounds like what the people need right now. You know, need authenticity, and you guys are really putting that out in volume. So I appreciate you guys inviting me on, sharing that moment with you guys. For real.
Our pleasure.
Sure, yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Because I got a story of my own that I want to share with you, Ani, based off of the conversation that we're going to have. So I would love to get your input on it, man, and just kind of, you know, pick up where in those places where we kind of fall short at a little bit.
Love it, man. Anything I could do, I would love it.
All right. So I want to definitely bring up the mindset, especially now. I feel like it's important. You know, we just had an election.
Right.
Things are shifting. Literally. Like, it ain't even just the mind.
Right.
There's real things shifting out here.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I wanted to bring, I felt compelled that this was an important topic to bring up, because in order to start anything, it starts with the mind. Would you agree?
100%. It has to be. We are mind, right? We nothing more than mind, really. We formulate all of our realities from how we think about these things. So everything comes from within to without. So absolutely, 100%. It's all mind. It's all mind. We got to tap into that unlimited resource and connection between all living human beings and ancestors as well. That mind is the lineage that we use to tap in on different chords to kind of say, hey, this is how we do this is how we continue to do this, and this is where we pass on through that mind as well. We don't, everything else is it, you know?
Tap into those frequencies for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so with the mindset shift, man, I just want to I want to tell you guys a bit about, you know, my story real quick.
Absolutely.
And how I shifted my mind, or when I started to know that this was the thing that is going to get me to the next level in my life. So I was sharing with the guys off camera here about just my backstory, how I got into investing. I was here in Atlanta, and I was at Georgia State. Once I left Georgia State, I ended up I was in a relationship throughout that time frame, of course. If anybody know me, man, I love the women. You know what I mean? I love the women. I love to keep them around. But, you know, honestly, though, I ended up in Richmond with her.
Okay.
And I thought, you know, she gave me an ultimatum. And I was 26 at the time. So imagine 26. Imagine 26-year-old Ani.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and Scott. Imagine 26-year-old Scott. So I'm 26. Not really understanding the financial game. You know, I got a little something of it. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know if you want to call it a little something, but I felt like I did. Right. You know, because I started investing in stock. You know, I did my little research. I'm like, okay, I can do this. So my baseball coach, who ultimately became my mentor, he reached out to us and was basically like, hey guys, I want to start, you know, this real estate development group, and I would love to get you guys involved in it. What we would need to do is, if you all can, you know, save up $1,000 within this next 2 months, we can go ahead, format the LLC, and, you know, start that process of what it looks like to get involved.
Okay. Because
when I was younger and I was watching him, you know, I'm wondering, like, how in the hell do we stay fresh on this field like that? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, we got the new gear
Dripped out
all the time. Drip. Like, I'm not, I shit you not. Him and his wife, LaConia, I love her so much, man. It's like my second mom, for real. When I tell you, man, they would just have us dripped out in so much stuff. And every, like, tournament we went to, it was a new uniform, new bags. We got sponsorships, Mizuno, all the top brands you could think of in baseball, man. They had it for us.
All right.
But we not thinking of nothing. We just in the moment. We got new gear. You know, we not worrying about how they got it, what they did to get it, how they made it happen.
Right.
You know, so we got older, and it just dawned on me, like, yo, what do you do? What did you do to make all of this happen? Because he would even fund kids who parents couldn't afford to get them on the trip, because we were a summer ball team. And I felt like, yo, that is super dope. And that was inspiring to me as a youngin'. Like, yo, when I get older and I put myself in that position, I want to bless the people like that. So that's when I found out, like, okay, this... He really on to something. So he explained to us, like, yeah, this is what I do. He's in business banking. And he started, you know, on the lower level of things, and now he's doing phenomenal things. But in the midst of that, he got into real estate.
Okay.
So that's what ultimately got him to say, hey, you know, I want you guys to get into it. I've done well in it. You know, it's a lucrative field to be in. I want to show you guys how to do it. So we got into it, and at the time, I'm telling my lady, I'm like, you know, my coach just brought this idea to me. You know, this is something. You know, this is the part where it's like, you gotta bring it to him. So you excited? You know, I'm geeked to tell her about it. Like, yeah, you know, I got this great idea. My coach, he brought this idea to me, and he said, you know, we save up $1,000, we can get in this real estate game, baby. We on our way.
We going. That's it.
We taking off
to
now.
The moon.
To the moon, right? To the moon. So of course, man, it was a flat, like, she just crushed me, dog. Like, when I pitched her the idea, it wasn't the exuberance that I was expecting to get back. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you gonna do what with $1,000?
Yeah.
And you gotta sit and save for how long?
Right.
And that's cutting into what of mine that I'm supposed to get?
Right.
Not the ends.
So I'm sitting there like, yeah, babe, this is what it is. Like, if we want to get to where we want to go, this is how we got to do it.
Sacrifice,
right? Yeah. So, you know, when I got to Richmond, and I want to bring this into the fold too. When I got to Richmond, it was a disastrous situation. It wasn't a smooth transition from Atlanta to Richmond. You know, I was dealing with a lot personally, because I was leaving a lot behind.
Okay.
I had built a lot of relationships that I felt like I severed just because I left so abrupt.
Right.
But I get up to Richmond. She's like, yo, you know, we're gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. So I get in, and I move up into her stepfather's home with her.
Okay.
Man,
Already
wasn't
sound like
was that a good idea?
It already sound like a disaster.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm sitting there
From
like
bad to worse.
It went from bad to worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the house already. I'm like, I'm a man of pride. I'm a man of like, you know, I want to dominate and own my situation. It makes me very uncomfortable when I know that it's another man that pretty much dictates how my flow is.
Absolutely.
Takes away that delegation.
Takes away the delegation.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? And so we get in there. I'm in there for a little bit. He's like, hey, now I don't mind you living here, but you got to get a job.
That's your dad voice.
You got to, yeah, that's my dad voice. you got to get a job. You got to, you know, none of that sex stuff going on in here. So you going to stay upstairs. She got her own room, so she'll be downstairs. I'm watching you, but don't be doing nothing funny. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I'm a respectable guy, so I wasn't even going to go into his house thinking that was my spot.
Right.
You know, I'm folding up my clothes every time. Every time I get out of the shower, I'm folding up clothes, sitting it nice and neat, making it look like, hey, I don't even exist.
Right.
Man, even that wasn't good enough because ultimately, man, he kicked us out.
Really?
He kicked us out. Mind you, I hadn't even started my job yet. So I'm on a little income. 26. I'm on a little income. But I made a super crazy jump. Okay. You know, a grown man jump.
Yeah, absolutely. That's big.
So, you know, we fast forward. We run, he kicks us out. We moved over into her friend's spot. Her friend was like, yo, I'll bring you guys in for a little bit, let you get on your feet. Everybody understood, like, I had a job in line. So they were like, you know, it's going to take a little time. So we like, okay, cool. That didn't work out because the friend that allowed us to stay, she had a partner. The partner wasn't, me and him wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying?
Another man in the house.
Another man in the house. So now you bringing this nigga in
Back
my
to
house.
back.
You know what I'm saying? So it's looking crazy. It's looking crazy. The situation is looking crazy.
Right.
Well, now that I look back on it. But in that moment, it's survival. So I'm like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right.
Taking what came.
Throughout this whole time, though,
That piece.
my mind is shifting. My mind is starting to say, yeah, this ain't really what life is about. This ain't really where you want to be. This is not really the type of negotiations you need to be having. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's better negotiations out there than negotiating on, hey, can I sleep on the couch today, or is this the day I leave the crib? You know what I'm saying?
So was it that experience that shifted your mindset towards executing better plans for better?
It was. That was the defining moment to me. Well, I take that back, and I'm glad you said that. The defining moment to me out of that whole situation was when after we got kicked out of her friend's house, we moved into her cousin's house, and he lived in the hood, and I appreciate him for allowing us to stay there, but it wasn't set up for us to be there. He already had his situation going on.
Copy.
So we slept on the floor. I'm 26.
It was going from bad to worse, huh?
It's going from bad to worse.
Motel.
I'm 26 going on. I'm like, yo, this can't be life. This is not life.
Right.
So my mind is starting to rotate. You know, I'm starting to turn over. You know, I'm tilling my mind.
Yes.
I'm getting rid of all of the bullshit and all of the things that I thought mattered. And I'm like, yo, this really don't matter for real. Because I ain't even in a situation where I can enjoy it. You know? So, you know, we end up on the floor, we sleep. And that day I told her, I said, yo, this is not my life. I won't live like this.
Right.
So I promise you we'll be out of this situation within 2 months.
Okay.
I started scaling in work, started at the beginning level, worked my way up all the way to an area manager where I was delegating multiple stores, all within a year and a half. I had a good guy, his name Adrian Vines. Shout out Adrian Vines, man. He gave me my opportunity. So I appreciate you, Adrian, because if it wasn't for you, man, I wouldn't even be here really to stand and even have this story.
Shout out Adrian.
So I appreciate you, Adrian, wherever you are. And he was like, yo, I see the fire in you. I see it. It was another black brother too.
Which is a blessing, right.
Which was a blessing.
Absolutely.
I'm in Richmond.
Yeah.
And we all know Commonwealth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me to have him, God was watching me the whole time. He had me.
Right.
So he's like, yo, I'm going to get you on. Don't worry about it. We're going to work you through. You keep showing up, doing what you do. I'll have you in this position in no time. He had me in that position in no time.
It's a blessing, bro.
I got us up off our feet, moved us downtown. And that's when the whole investment opportunity came into play.
Right.
So now we're bringing it all in the fold.
Yeah.
So I've done all of that. We got the investment situation going on. and I brought the idea to her.
Okay.
And that's when she hit me with everything. And at that moment, that's when I was like, you may not even be the person that I need to be with on this ride.
It's a whole testimony right there, bro. You don't understand that. That journey you just went on was full of lessons for you that you needed. And good thing you got them early.
Yeah.
You got people going through them at 40.
That part.
You know what I mean? You going through them at 26, man. That's a great opportunity. You got to figure you coming into adulthood at 20-something. Truthfully, a young man don't really, his brain don't formulate and connect till 25. This is scientific. This ain't even, right? So you got that lesson early to start really pivoting, which allowed you to move in your way now and get you where you are now, like have those experiences, which is a blessing. So shout out to Vaughn again, right? Yeah. Shout him out. Like he put you in position. Adrian, I'm sorry, Adrian. Yeah, shout him out.
Shout him out, man. I appreciate it. And once I put my 1,000 up, I felt great about it. I'm like, yo, this is the start of my future. This is the start.
Right.
And you're not even happy for it because I'll be sharing it with you.
Right.
So when she wasn't in that mindset and she didn't shift the way that I was beginning to shift,
right? Because
now let's talk about the partnership part, which we'll get into, but that's a different phase. It's not just me, but now you got a partner. So now it's not just your mind that has to shift, your partner's mind has to
100%.
shift along with you.
100%.
And looking back on it now, she wasn't shifting with me. And that was the point where I had to decide, do I stay in this position or do I go ahead and make that sacrifice?
Absolutely.
Take that leap of faith.
On yourself.
And I did that. And I went on myself, man, and I'm proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? It was moments, man, where I was just sitting in dark places, man. Throughout this story that I'm telling you, there was a lot of dark moments. But I stuck to it, bro.
Entrepreneurial journey is dark, brother.
Yeah.
It's alone. It's a really lonely road, man, being an entrepreneur, man. It is not for the faint of heart. It's not what you see dramatized on TV. It's not this good feeling all day long. I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably more dips than it is highs in entrepreneurship because it's a journey of self-reflection. It literally brings out a lot of the weaknesses in yourself because you got to challenge yourself every single day to move forward when you don't see the reality changing. This is changing. Your mind is changing. You feeling good, but you ain't seeing the money really coming in. The money falling off. You dipping my own money. You be paying a bill with something you really wanted to throw back into the pot, and you can't because you kind of manage reality, and that be hurting. And then, like you said, you got a female, you got a lady, you got a companion you with, or somebody you with. If they don't have that same fire and desire, that to them feels like, what the hell you do? We supposed to do the conventional way.
Right.
Let's do this. Let's go to work.
Tradition.
Let's save our money. Save is like the fucking worst word. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you really want to be an entrepreneur, it ain't saving. You investing. If you ain't investing, then you that's the language of the poor. That saving part is the language of the poor, right?
Scared money don't make nothing.
Never did.
Yeah.
Never will. Never did, never will. So I applaud you, brother. At 26 years old, it ain't a lot of us. Like, I look back on a lot of my experiences when I was in my 20 to 25, 26. Most of the brothers, like you said, went to conventional. Let me get a job.
Yep.
I'm going to work at whatever it was, the state job, try to get a bus driver, whatever that was. Moms told me I got to get a job. Or they went, just getting out of college, getting a decent job. I just never saw life that way. And it was lonely, but it pushed me away from my friends. I had to pivot because I said, if y'all not gonna support and see this journey, see this vision for me, I'm talking to a crowd that really ain't motivated by what I'm motivated by. I can't reach y'all. I can't get from y'all what I need, the encouragement, the upliftment, the come on, keep going, the pat on the back, yo, bro, nah, don't give up. Because y'all gonna tell me to give up.
Right.
Because y'all got going a different road. Y'all gonna say, yo, why you keep doing that? You keep bumping your head, get off of that and let's just get on the job. I could get you in this job. And you know what I did? I would have crushed all my dreams, brother. All my dreams would have been crushed had I did that. And not only that, even the challenges, I would have never grown into the man I was meant to be by the Most High. I would have never been able to grow into that because I would have gave up on that gift, that passion, that fire that he embedded in me. Dig what I'm saying? So I applaud you for that, bro. I applaud you for that big time.
Appreciate it.
Honestly, I do, man.
I appreciate it.
Because that experience defines your why. Like a lot in entrepreneurship and just in business in general, it's important to define why you do something or why you setting out on a journey, right? Like, especially with finance. your why determines how much effort you put into anything that you do. So let me ask you, Ani, like when you first started, what experience defined your why?
Poverty.
Poverty.
I lived in poverty. You know what I mean? Like I lived in the hood.
Where you from?
From Brooklyn, New York. Well, I'm from California, but I moved to Brooklyn. I was living in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm living my entire life.
Okay.
And it's a conscious moment. We talking about when I was old enough to see that I was poor. Because you know, when you're young, you don't
you don't know.
You know, you eat the government.
You don't have
government
nothing to
cheese
weigh.
is great, right? Like,
You don't have nothing to weigh it against.
You know, right.
Yeah, for sure.
You ain't got nothing to weigh it against. Exactly. So all of us is poor. So you ain't got no more than me, and we cool.
Yeah.
But once I started coming in awareness, like, hold on, homie got some. Those are real sneakers.
You
like
wearing the pro wings, he got the Jordan.
Yeah, I'm like, hold up, man. That ain't right. Like, I got to figure out something. And at that point in time, when I became conscious, it was like poverty. I said, I do not like the feeling of not having. I do not like the feeling of not being able to be in control of my destiny. I don't. That feeling for me was, I'm meant to be more. Like I am meant to experience more in this lifetime. I'm not meant to be limited in my experiences. And that was a driving factor for me to move on and go do what I did.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing.
And when you
Absolutely.
say not meant, you know what I mean? Like,
that's purpose.
with everything that's going on in this world, like, the odds are stacked against us, something crazy.
Yes, indeed.
So where in that did you find out, or did it click for you? When did you have that light bulb click moment where it was like, yeah, this isn't meant for me, and I know I can go out there and seek more? Like you had that feeling of knowing.
Yeah, because you come from poverty. Like what was instrumental in your confidence to go from that point to where you started your own journey?
My mother was an educated woman, and so I'm gonna give you 16 years old.
Wow.
My mother was she was excuse me, she was selling like bags. So she was selling these African bags.
Oh, wow.
You know, the African like little kind of all these little, you know, tinctures and things like that. And I was like, you know, this is very entrepreneurial. You know, she was like, you know, I'm really trying to make some extra money. I enjoy it. You know, and she was educated, but so then what she did was she formed a relationship with a woman who was selling her the bags. That woman is an African woman. That woman invited us to Africa. My mother saved up her money, and we went to Africa. Stayed in Africa for a month.
Wow.
That's dope.
The most life-changing experience, because I went down there and I saw poverty, and then I saw kingship.
Wow.
The man, the father of the woman that we went down there with was a warrior. He was a king, and when he would take us into, I'm gonna give you one of the names. It's called Kariobangi. This is in Kenya. So we went to Nairobi. He took me to Kariobangi, and we was in the. When I say the slums, I'm talking about,
hood.
Shit running down the middle of the street.
Real
goats.
poverty versus
Exactly what I thought was
metropolitan poverty.
right?
Yeah.
So now I'm down, and he's like, I'm seeing his strength, and I'm seeing how he's talking to me and how he's looking at me and almost instilling in me like, nah, this is where I'm not taking you to the hood because I think you belong there. I'm taking you to the hood because you're supposed to run the hood the way I do. The way we going around, he got stores all throughout this Kariobangi. Like little shacks that's selling like little cornmeal and little things that the people in the neighborhood need. And they worshiped him. And he pulled up in his little truck. They ran up, and he would give him money, And I think he instilled in me. I saw it. I said, that's my power. That power is for me as well. Like if this man recognizes that in me, then I got to be able to recognize that in myself. Because here I am. When he, I'm gonna say he left me. This is crazy. He left me in Kariobangi with 4 teenagers. And they, at the times, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna date myself with this one. They was like, yo, we never saw a Black American in our life except for Kid and Play on TV.
Wow.
They was like, they were looking at me like, you are like amazing to us. Like, so I'm in the hut with them, like at the time, they built their huts out of mud. They put plastic bags around and staple bottle caps to keep the plastic over the hut. So I'm in the hut with them. And we in there, we talking, and they like telling me about their plight, and they telling me about their thing. And they're expecting me to have answers. And it made me say, well, Ani, you got the answer. Because now I'm kicking it back to them. And I'm like, nah, but this. And I'm realizing, well, nah, you got it.
Yeah.
Take that shit back to America when you fly back.
Yeah.
Nah, don't settle. And boom, as soon as we went back, it was like, all right, I'm on it. I'm on it. And that was the awakening moment for me that I'm privileged here.
Wow.
I'm privileged here in America. I'm
that's
privileged with opportunity. Why am I not grasping every opportunity that comes my way?
So he provided you with a mind shift in its own.
100%.
Wow.
100%. I
That's an
100% when I saw
amazing
it. What I did was I almost compared my friend's home to those brothers that I was with in Africa, and I said, "Yo, bro, there's no reason in the world, man, that we should ever sit here in poverty, moping and walking around here like we ain't got opportunity to make it. I mean, I understand they got the foot on our neck a little bit here. I recognize that, but it don't give us no excuse.
It doesn't stop us. It's just a hindrance.
It's an obstacle
To get over, though.
But all obstacles are meant to be surmounted, right? We're supposed to be the powers in pushing through those obstacles. And I said, I would never give in. I would never give in and settle for those obstacles, those challenges, because all of them are set up purposely to bring out you're supposed to burn off the superfluous parts of man. That's just you're supposed to burn that out. That's how you get the real man out.
Right.
And I needed that.
You got to sculpt yourself.
Got to sculpt yourself, brother.
Sure.
For sure. You got to
That's
sculpt
big,
yourself.
man. I think going overseas, I don't know.
It broadens your horizon.
It does. Because even when I went to Jamaica, like
Went to
2 years
Jamaica?
ago. Yeah, I went to Jamaica.
Oh, you fly, bro. You got real money.
I had a little dollar, man.
We need to renegotiate the contract.
So, and that was my first time out of the country, though, so spare me.
Okay, you're right. My bad.
Remember, I'm 32.
Oh, you're right. You're
So
right.
this was 2 years ago.
You say you what?
32.
Dust flew out your mouth.
It's cool. It's cool.
Cool.
You know, so, but yeah, I see it. You know, when I went to Jamaica, that was the moment for me. Because my lady now, who I'm with, she's Jamaican, and she's not from the city. You know, the Montegos, the Negrills, and all of that. She's from St. Elizabeth.
Right.
Like if you listening and you watching and you've been to Jamaica or you heard of St. Elizabeth or you got people from these type of areas, you will know.
Yeah, you know what that is.
What that civilization looks like. The Black River. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of that in Jamaica. She's not too far from there.
Right.
And watching them still work through, you know, everything that they got to work through with the limited resources.
Absolutely.
Was like you said, yo, I'm privileged. What am I over here sweating about?
Right.
Why am I feeling like I can't accomplish anything? These people are accomplishing things with bare hands. We actually got tools and shit over here that we can use. You feel
Absolutely.
me? We got a contractor we can call and do. If anything,
100%.
they were their contractors.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no phone call to make. Hey, we need something built. Okay, go get the crew.
Absolutely.
Let's get our hands. We're going to go out here and build this ourselves. And so I agree with you there, man. And Scott, I don't know if you felt the same way, like when you stepped out of the country, because don't come over here doing all this, oh, you got the money stuff, when you the man of travel. So, you know, what experiences did you see, and what type of mindset shift did you have when you went overseas?
That's a great question, man. I'll start before I go overseas, right? Because I'm from Chicago, Illinois, East Side to be exact. Chicago is metaphorically a fishbowl, right? Like where everybody can see you and it's in awe of you and your experience, but you can't see outside.
Right.
Like you can't see outside your backyard or past downtown or anywhere you haven't been before.
Right.
Your mindset is set on your 4 blocks, your 4 surrounding perimeters. Right.
Bam.
So my first endeavor as an adult outside of Chicago was here in Atlanta. I got an opportunity to do a summer program at Morehouse College.
Okay, beautiful.
The program was configured to let inner city kids from other places earn credits so that they may be admitted to college and undergrad, as well as get acceptance to that said college.
Nice.
Right? So that was my first experience seeing anybody that looked like me be affluent at anything. But to see people that look like us in different areas that I had no experience with struck a light bulb in me to say, I don't have to be a basketball player. I don't have to be, I don't have to sell drugs. I don't have to do the conventional things that they advertise black people doing, right? I could have been a judge, a lawyer. I could have been a doctor. I could have been a scholar. I could have been a teacher. I could have been a professor. I could have been a philosopher. Like, it opened the gates of the possibilities, just like your experience did in Africa. But prior to that experience, I hadn't had trips where that was the main goal. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was more so leisure than it was apprenticeship. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and just soaking it in.
For sure. But to your point, traveling outside of the country shows you how privileged you are as an American.
Absolutely.
To even be able to do it.
To be able to do it, and then to have the freedom to do it as yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
To bring what you have to that experience.
Right.
Like your experience was he took you out there and showed you how resourceful you were.
Absolutely.
Prior to you having the resource.
Absolutely.
So my experience was basically just opening my mind to different possibilities and seeing where I fit in those possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point, I think it's imperative that every minority, whether it be black or anything else, or just somebody who hasn't had experiences, to go out beyond their comfort zones,
100%.
to experience things that they hadn't considered before.
Sure. It's crazy. They got a statistic that says 85% of people will never leave their neighborhood.
Wow.
Like, is that crazy or what?
So true, though.
85% of people will never leave their neighborhood. They will die where they was born at. Never
we all got people
experience
in our
it.
families that feel
seriously.
that way.
Yeah.
Why would I leave?
Experience it. One time, me and my wife was in a restaurant, and we were actually getting ready to fly out the country. And we were sitting there eating, and a brother and his lady was sitting at the table, and she was telling him, like, yeah, we got to go away one day. Like, for what? I ain't got no passport. Yo, me and my wife looked at each other like, what the did she just say? And it's an older brother. This wasn't no young brother. This is a dude probably in his 40s.
Somebody that you would expect to have.
I expect that has been somewhere at this point.
Yeah.
I just said, wow, is it really? We take these things for granted. We take traveling. We take being exposed to new things for granted, and not realizing it's a large swath of the population that does not have the mentality that lets them know that I need to be experiencing other things. That only what you experiencing in that, like you said, that four corners and 4 blocks of yours is not it. That ain't life.
Right.
That ain't life. That's one of them social experiments. You in a social experiment when you stay in that.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. You ain't leaving that. You're not really tapping into what's available to you at all.
Exactly. And it's by design.
By design, brother. And if you're allowing somebody else to write your story, then you are a character in your story.
Very true.
You are not the narrator, right? You are not the person that can really move and shake. You are going to be dictated on how to move, where to go. They're going to lead you through auto-suggestion, where you need to go, right? They ain't even got to tell you. They just go through auto-suggestion.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. So it's scary when you think about how many people is in that position. When you think, I was reading something the other day, it said, right now in America, they consider 79% of the population to be illiterate. Think about what that means. We talking about 79% of the population is illiterate. Now, we're not talking about one grade level. We talking about just not having the level of comprehension and ability to comprehend what they read. This is like crazy, bro. So now it puts us in a. So if we are in that top tier, then we have to do something with it. We got a responsibility and obligation to our people, our families, to do something with that. Because if we sit on that and hoard it, we know better than the people who are conducting the social experiment on us.
Yeah, there you go. The social experiment. That's real.
Absolutely.
They call him Tyrone, man. That's a real one.
Right.
Hey, make sure y'all go check that one out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a real one.
Yes, indeed.
So I want to take us a couple steps back, Ani, on something, man, because you had touched on the point where you were saying that, you had to start changing your surroundings, like, your homies. You had to, really evaluate them at that point. Like, yo, is this something that's meant, are you guys with me, or are you, quite frankly, against me?
Right.
So what did those changes look like? Like what made you want to get into changing up, your surroundings, your circle?
So I'm gonna be hella transparent with y'all, man.
Thank you for that.
What made me when I identified it, one, and then I gotta say this, my brothers know I love them, and these brothers, we're still friends. We still travel to this day. I'm talking about people I was 8 years old, right?
Wow.
So we are still friends. We are family. But it caused me to have to go to different crews. I was the one that would, and I'll be honest with you, I went into the street. I was in traffic. I was out there, right? Because that's the only way at that point in time I felt that I could have that lifestyle that I knew was for me. It's the only way that I could it's the only way that I could exemplify my power that I knew I had, because I didn't know how to exemplify it in the boardroom. I didn't know how to do it in a job, because any job I would have gotten, I would have been in that menial position. I felt, right? Like, you're gonna put me in the mailroom. You're gonna do it. Nah. This is me. So I said, you know what? The only way I can really find and pull out those things, I gotta take it to the street.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Consequences after consequence.
Sure.
So we ain't never gonna exalt that street bullshit, right? Because anybody who is an idiot.
Right.
It's not the way to go. And I'm gonna tell anybody it's not the way to go, right? But I did because I had no other sphere of influence. I didn't have access. But so when I did that, it made me change crews, and I started to meet new people. It's funny, I was just talking to one of my brothers last night. In that journey, so I made a really good piece of money. One brother, and this is one of the crews I went to, it was a crew in Franklin Ave in New York, so shout out to Franklin Ave. And they gonna know what it is. Love. So one of my brothers said, yo, I was making money. He said, John, I need you to meet my father. His father was an executive at, I believe it's DuPont, and he was a management, he taught management to upper level management. Oh, wow. So this is somebody who I would have never had the opportunity to meet. He lived in Maryland. And now I'm making money. He says, yo, go talk to my father. My father said he'd be willing to meet you. Became my first mentor. Wow. And that's when I started to change my circle. I went out to Maryland. I bought a bunch of properties. At this time, you could buy probably $6,000 through HUD. I was buying properties. I had a shit ton of rental properties at this time. This is probably like in, I'm gonna say maybe 1999, 2000. And he sat me down and really showed me like, nah, there's a blueprint to this shit. You don't wing this. You don't wing your way to success, right? You don't just, right? You don't just, you know, you got to have a blueprint to really get success. Because it's different between hustling and being in business, right?
Building.
You can hustle all day long, but that's just a bunch of energy.
Right. Yeah.
Business means that you got standard operating procedures that need to be
Just
followed.
running in place versus running towards the goal.
You see what I mean? And he showed that to me, sat down, gave me homework. Ain't no man ever gave me no homework at 20. I'm 20, gotta be crazy. I took that like a student. He said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. Thank you. I'm gonna come back.
What made you be coachable in that situation, coming from the street and then having a mentor and accepting that mentor?
I knew I was destined for more. I knew it. I'm gonna tell you this. I knew I didn't want to be what I was. I just knew that was the only way I could get some real money. Right. That's the only way I could really do something with money. I could have lump sums of money, right? But I knew this wasn't the life for me because I suffered. Things happened. You dig what I'm saying? Like, things happened. People got hurt.
Life be lifing.
Yeah, man. Yes. And that just let me know, you got to transition out of this because the people who you really seeing looking comfortable, they not in the street. The people that's really looking comfortable, they doing something else. Now you got the vehicle, meaning the cash, the money to do it, then you need to transition over to that. And that's when I said, let me try something different. And that's when I started really, like I said, applying myself in the business mindset of things, right? I started looking at things through business. No, okay, I got to put CapEx aside. I got to start, it wasn't that now I'm spending the rental income and I'm running out and I'm just buying some Gucci with the rental income. No, you take a certain point. And now I started understanding the discipline of money, the discipline of business, and started having to really not only tell it to myself, but anybody who was around me now, this is what we on. If you rocking with me, this is what we on.
And this is 20. You 20.
It's in my 20s. It's in my late 20s, yeah.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
So this was a coach that came on to you and was like,
my friend's father.
Grab you under his wing. Your friend's father. Shout out him, man.
Shout out to him big time. Ralph Blakely.
80-something
years old. Still
Get at
moving
us,
strong.
Mr. Blakely. We need your help out here.
Now, did Mr. Blakely, because he sounds pretty astute, he put you on any type of books, anything that can really start to, again, till that mind of yours to ultimately get you in that space of, putting money up to buy rental properties and getting into this real estate game?
It's a great question, man. And I'll say, nah, he didn't. You know what? Okay. I'm going to say who did. Carlton Sheets. I don't know if y'all, I might be dating myself again.
Not a problem.
This is late night TV when TV shut off.
Okay.
This is when TV used to cut off at like 12 o'clock.
They played
and then
MASH.
we just had infomercials.
Yeah.
And it was a brother named Carlton Sheets, man. He had a program that he would teach how to buy real estate with no money. And I just couldn't believe it. I just said, fuck, I ain't had $1,000. Me and my man put the money together, went to his seminar, bought the tapes. This is cassette tapes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
cassette
VHS.
tapes. Yeah. No, not even
the smaller
VHS.
ones.
Yeah, the small you gotta listen to, bro. Ain't no visuals to that. You gotta listen. Boom, put them in the tape deck and just, record, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, we listened and boom, boy. And I just said, yo, this is the game. But I didn't believe in myself. Say that this is one of the hugest parts, man. Not believing in yourself because you ain't got no reference point to see somebody who did it, right? So it's hard for you to believe
Been through
I
that.
would really be a multimillionaire. And I don't know not one human being.
And the doubt creeps in heavy.
It's in you.
Oh my God.
It comes in. And then you get validated by it because other people like, man, you ain't never going to, how you going to do that?
Right.
Yeah.
So now you got the people like how you was just saying, like homegirl you was with says, really? You going to do all that? That's it. That feeds the doubt.
Yeah.
It's already in me. Now you feeding it. It ain't hard for me to just say, oh shit, you right, man.
Right.
Let me hit back to the street.
This might be a little too big. For
Right. I'm thinking too big. I'm thinking too big. But
Right.
he didn't give me no books. But what I was an avid reader from young. And I say this is very important. I'm going to share this. The journey of entrepreneurship is spiritual. Never wanted that. Don't discount what that really means.
Say that one more time.
The journey of entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey.
Wow.
You have to evolve and become aware of yourself. You have to always look at these things in you that are creeping up, these doubts, these self-doubts, these limiting beliefs, these not only that, but just who are you? If you're connected to the divine, why shouldn't you be able to do these things?
Right.
If you are a child of God, why shouldn't you have access to what God has put on the planet for you to have?
So
Right?
access a piece of yourself through your spirituality.
Come on.
I
And
gotcha.
then as you begin to do that, every part of that journey is a test. You're testing yourself the whole time. What makes it even more beautiful is that you are testing yourself because you can stop. You can literally stop. There's
Stop
nothing
short.
to make you keep being an entrepreneur. You can say, well, I'm going to do the 9 to 5, right? But you don't stop. You say, I'm going to keep taking this punishment. Keep taking this punishment. So it's almost like, when you think about these spiritual characters that was in the Bible, they went through punishment because they wanted to. They wasn't forced to go through none of that. They wanted enlightenment. They wanted better.
Yeah.
And they said, I'm going to get whipped. I'm going to get spit on. I'm going to get beat. But it's every one of those things enlighten and show them to prove themselves to be worthy.
It's a vindicating moment.
Bro.
Yeah. It is. When you
so
overcome that, man.
You keep leveling up.
Yep.
And you never go back down to level 1 because you can't erase light. When you see the light and you know what that is, nobody can ever take that from you. Nobody ever pulls that back down to total darkness.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? You become aware. You can never drop below that awareness because you're now conscious of that thing.
Word.
And the more you keep stepping up, and that's what.
Builds
So
your
that's what. Yeah.
resilience,
So
yeah.
I was an avid reader. I read a lot of books, and once I started going into the financial side and the business side, I just said I got to gravitate towards those kind of, because at first it was all spiritual books, self-improvement books, and I was reading those since 15. I'm giving one power. It's hard to find. It was hard to find. 21st Century Man of Wisdom. Forget the brother's name, man, but it's the book that changed my life.
And would that be a book? So if you were to give anybody a suggestion, that first time, viewer, or that first time person, whether it's female or male, that wants to be an entrepreneur or wants to get into real estate, would that be the book that you recommend that they read in order to catapult them to the next level?
No. I would say first book. I would say the first book probably would be As a Man Thinketh.
I knew you was gonna say that.
That is
one.
probably like my favorite book I've ever read, man. Like, it's small, it's short,
It's dense,
but it's
powerful.
Powerful, man.
What message did you pull from that book?
Woo. That everything I want in my mind, I gotta believe it first. I gotta till the soil, like he said. I gotta take out all that crap and only put in my mind what I really want to see in my reality.
You got to be the change you want to see in the world.
Gotta be that, and it gotta come from in here. That's what we were saying when you asked me at the beginning. Mind is everything. That's the producer of all reality that we see come from thought.
It's the I.
Sit, man.
Yeah.
It's the
So
I
would
and
be
I
your
am.
book, oh?
As a Man Thinketh.
Mine would be The Alchemist.
It's a beautiful book by Don Ruiz. Absolutely.
Hadn't gotten
Absolutely.
into that one yet.
Yeah, I read
The
that a few
Alchemist is
times.
a beautiful book.
It is.
And I like 10 Times Rule too by Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
10 Times
Solid.
Rule, that's a good book. So those are just, we just throwing out a couple books for you
Some
guys.
suggestions, man.
Just some
We get another
suggestions
solid book too.
to get you started. Yeah, to just get you started. But As a Man Thinketh,
Monster book, bro.
that would be my
Heat,
first
huh?
book. Yeah, that's heat. That's heat.
We get another one. This is a and let me just see how we catch it, right?
Yeah.
Basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Ooh, that sounds like a title.
Yeah, that sound like a
Y'all probably read that book already.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I know I haven't.
I bet you y'all did.
the
Really?
Bible.
You snap. You snap.
Yeah. So, yo, that book is about business, man.
Yeah.
It's contracts.
Yeah.
The whole entire book is contracts with the people, with God, with the nation, it's contracts.
Wow, man.
Don't lend. Don't be a lender. Don't be a borrower.
Yeah.
Don't weigh the scale. Don't mess with the scale and put fake scales so you could rob people. It's teaching you how to do business ethically.
Wow.
If you read it that way and you understand it, the parables and really get the meaning of those things, it's a master class.
Wow.
A master class in how to evolve yourself into I'm a monster businessman. A monster.
Speaking about being a monster businessman, we never got your initial story on how you even got into entrepreneurship. Like, what was your first experience in entrepreneurship? You told us you were from Brooklyn, but we were missing the gap from Brooklyn to your first endeavor in entrepreneurship.
My first endeavor in entrepreneurship was, and in real true entrepreneurship, because I had so I'll give you a thing. I was working, this is when I had my first son. I was working at a furniture company. So what I would do is, and this was the furniture company that they were liquidating furniture. It's called UBE, United Business Equipment. I was going to them, and what I was doing, I was buying the furniture that they didn't want. So they were liquidating like Lehman Marcus, all of the big buildings in Manhattan. They were liquidating, top level furniture, cadenzas. So I would say, well, you don't want that, I'll take it. You don't want that pallet of paper, I'll take it. I'll buy this from you. And I would buy that, and then what I did, I would stack it in the warehouse. And then when I was off, I would go around to the neighborhood stores and say, hey, you need chairs, you need office chairs, you need a table, you need desks, you need paper, and I would sell it to them. So that was my first business. But my first real business was in Binghamton, New York. I moved to Binghamton, New York and opened up, and I hope maybe somebody watching may remember this. It was called City Styles of New York. It was my first beauty salon, a beauty salon barbershop, a unisex salon. Absolutely beautiful. And it was my first real
Flagship.
Business endeavor. Like I was a businessman at this point. But I was still in my way of, I didn't really keep the books right. I didn't really understand it, but it was a real business in terms of I had to pay taxes. I had to pay rent to the dude. I had to manage I had 10 stylists. So, and this is me at 20, I was 21.
Wow.
I was 21.
Early start.
21, man. And
so it's possible for y'all to start early.
Oh,
Don't say just because you're young that you can't be a
absolutely
businessman.
not.
No, you can.
Absolutely.
And just surrounding yourself with the right people, man. Tilling your mind.
Absolutely.
Reading up on books. I know, it's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm one that can be a testimony to it. I wasn't really the most avid, book reader. I was more of the Sports Illustrated guy. I like pictures and a little bit of detail.
Yeah.
And you can send me on my way. But, as I got older and honestly, as I wanted better out of my own personal relationship with myself and then attracting a partner.
Yes.
I knew that that's what I had to do. So I got a couple more things, man, that I want to ask you, brother.
Absolutely.
Because I know you're a busy man. Is if you could eliminate one thought from your younger mind, think back to young Anna, or Ani, I'm sorry. Think back to young Ani. What was that one thing be that you could eliminate in your mind at that time?
That I wasn't worthy. I wasn't worthy. I felt that it was times, seeing everything I saw on TV, being programmed to have this love for myself, it would be to change the fact that I've always been worthy. I've always been worthy of greatness. It was never a time that I wasn't. It was, but I felt it, and I know that held me back because I would do gutter level shit because I thought that that's where I belonged. Right?
I thought that was your pocket.
I thought that was my pocket. I thought that's where I was supposed to be. I did what everybody else was doing, and I wish if I could have removed one thought, it'd be like, nah, honey, you got greatness within you because you connected to the light. You connected up to the source, man. There's no reason for you to feel that you need to be a bottom dweller. There's no reason for that, and I believe that for a very long time.
Okay. What about you, Scott?
It would actually be the same thing, man.
Okay.
Honestly, I still struggle with it today. It's called imposter syndrome, bro. Like just the belief that you aren't who and what you are, right? Like you're a conduit of all the energy in the universe.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
And how you use that that energy is how you project your trajectory. Right? And I appreciate Ani for saying that, because there's so many listeners who don't believe in themselves to do what they're passionate about, what they're called here to do.
Absolutely.
I can use you for an example. Like, I would have never sat in front of no camera. I spent the past 15 years of my life dodging cameras.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't sit in no interview and tell nobody all this information about myself, personal information that they can use, that the statute of limitations ain't up on. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I would never do that.
Right.
But sitting here talking to you, talking to Ani, and soaking up game, and even imparting some too, it gives the opportunity to be everything you are within your purpose. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know what you're being used for.
Absolutely.
It's not up for you to decide.
That's real. So I always like to, ask every one of my guests and just people that I talk to, man, with us here at Doing Numbers, when you hear Doing Numbers, man, and again, we appreciate you for jumping on the set here with us,
Absolutely,
man.
bro.
You've been dropping some crazy gems, man, and we very thankful to have you. So you, Ani, being a businessman, scaling multiple business, man, from beauty salons to plumbing businesses to now real estate, and you're killing it, man. We ain't even get into the endeavor you just got in.
Right.
Congratulations to you, brother.
Appreciate
I know
you.
you guys are doing great
Absolutely.
things there. But when you hear Doing Numbers, man, what comes to mind? What do you think of?
I think of leveling yourself up. I don't even look at the numbers. I look at the numbers being representative of you having to change and be better and doing more. Right? The numbers signify more, doing more. Doing numbers means to me doing more. I'm elevating. I'm growing. I'm expanding. I'm becoming always, right? That's what that means to me. I'm becoming what I know I want to be, because none of us should have a number, right? We shouldn't have a number. I'm gonna make 10 million, I'm done. That don't make no sense.
Facts.
It should never be a number. So the number really just represents infinity, infinite potential to become.
Yeah.
So you are always on that journey. So when I hear that, that's what comes to my mind.
Okay.
I love that.
I love that, man. That was dope. And so, man,
Anything you want to shout out?
yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, I did start a podcast, and this is really important for me. This is a podcast of love. It's really a podcast about intergenerational trauma and how some of those things that happen to us when we are younger start to shape our view of the world and ourselves. But it limits us. It holds us back. It stops us from having positive interactions, not only as children, but then as we go move into adulthood and in our relationships with business, with our women. You really can't enjoy success if you're internally unhappy. You just can't. You think you would, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna put money on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's a Band-Aid. And you're still crying inside. The inner person is you're still crying and still lonely.
Miserable.
And still right. So this journey is something I really put my heart into, and it's called Sins of the Father. It's called Sins of the Father, and it's on Instagram and YouTube. So it's Sins of the Father _. And it's really just about having honest conversations with what we were told. What we were told about money. Hey, don't put your money in the bank. Or my father told me one thing. You don't need a credit card. Everything you buy, you should buy with cash. You know, that's the worst advice I've ever heard. Think about it. And I thought that was true. Like, so now I got to go out and get money then. I got to have a bunch of money in my pocket. Because if I can't,
money.
You understand what I'm saying? It ain't investing. If it burns up, I'm gone. I ain't got nothing.
Back to zero.
Back to zero. And so that was one of the things that made me realize, wait a minute. We got to watch out. How many things have I told my children that was similar to that? Don't go outside in the dark, in the sun too much, you're going to get dark. Well, why the hell not? We're supposed to be dark. What's wrong with you being dark?
Right.
But we don't think, our parents tell us these things. So these little traumatizing thoughts is things that I said, you know what? I need to talk about, because I realized how much they affected me. And when I began to be able to rip them off, they liberated me.
Wow.
They liberated me to be comfortable in my skin around anybody and in any environment. And I think so that's one of my passion projects that I'm on right now.
Super powerful, man.
That's dope, man. And I'm excited. I've checked it out, man. It's powerful, man. He's straight up, first person point of view. I think you guys will definitely enjoy that. So definitely make sure you check out Sins of the Father _ on YouTube. And
thank you for being vulnerable enough to do that, brother.
Absolutely,
For sure,
man,
my brother. And they can find you on Instagram the same way,
Same
right?
way, yes, indeed.
All
yes,
right.
Indeed. Absolutely.
So, again, Ani, man, we appreciate you. Scott, the whole team here, man, thank you for jumping on.
Absolutely.
And,
thank you for having me, man.
not a problem, brother.
And
we excited, man, because we going to tap in, man. We got some cool things that, we cooking up.
I love it.
So
please keep me abreast, man. I want to, any way I can help and be a part of it, man. I would love to, man.
yes,
You're already
sir.
helping.
Yeah.
We appreciate it,
So
brother. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Good to hear.
It's great meeting you, God.
Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you, man. For sure.
That's Doing Numbers.
All right, guys. And if you liked what you heard today on Doing Numbers Podcast, please like, subscribe, share at Doing Numbers Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We look forward to seeing you guys.
Make sure you comment. Make sure you comment.
Yeah.
We prefer 5 stars. But if you can't give us 5 stars, whatever you say, just make sure you say it with your chest, man.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday. Peace out.
Peace.